know that 8 states, including Virginia, already have their own Voting Rights Act and that lawmakers in Maryland want to make one here too? I got 90 seconds. Let's get into this. I'm Jenny Abamu. I'm a reporter. This is my Road to the Election series. We're about 19 weeks away from the primary, 37 weeks away from the general election. Last week we talked about deadlines and unfilled seats, and this week we're talking voting protection. Historically, the Federal Voting Rights Act was passed to protect voters from discriminatory state laws. But this year, Maryland lawmakers and advocates say that script is flipped, and the federal government is now part of the problem. For context, President Trump has called on Republicans to nationalize voting in 15 states. The Constitution gives that power to the state. And the White House says it can't guarantee that ICE agents won't be at polling locations during the midterms. They call it election integrity. Voting rights advocates call it voter intimidation. That tension is the backdrop for why legislators introduced a package of voting rights bills this session. Bills advocates have been pushing for years. They say federal voting protections have been eroding and that Maryland needs its own. We've got two main bills. HB 219 targets voter intimidation and suppression, banning deception and obstruction, things that could interfere with voting. Then you have SB 255, which goes after vote dilution. That's when election methods weaken the voting power of communities of color in particular. And SB 255 already passed the Maryland Senate this last week. Now, critics of these bills say that these type of things could end up in costly litigation and that existing protections are enough. So as we move closer to the primary and the general midterms, these structural rules matter just as much as the candidates, because who gets the vote and how the vote counts shapes every race on the ballot. Anyway, hit that follow button and share with your communities because this is super important, and I'll see you next week on the next Road to the Election. Bye!